In this video, I'm going to show you how we can perform a PCR setup on the Firefly. And this utilises both the 96 format tips and 384 format tips. So here it's just initially loading on a set of 96 tips. And once it's done that, it's actually then going to go and aspirate a master mix with the syringes on the non-contact dispense head. So there are 6 syringes in total on this head, and you are able to aspirate and dispense liquid from any number of syringes from 1 to 6. In this case, we're actually aspirating with 4 syringes. So here the benefit is that you can go faster. The more syringes that you use for a particular liquid, the faster you can dispense. The downside being that you incur extra dead volume for each trough. Here it's actually dispensing the master mix to the 96 source plate. It can also dispense to the 384 well plates. So you could transfer a sample from a source plate and then add master mix later. Here we're adding it up front to the source plate. What you can also see is that when the 2 syringes on the left or the right are actually not over the plate, they do not dispense. So at times it's dispensing with 2 syringes, and when it can, when all 4 syringes are over the plate, it dispenses with all 4. So you could do this with a single syringe or 2 or 3 or any number of syringes, depending on what you want to get out of this. So now it's actually taking an aliquot of that sample, so the sample with the master mix, and it is transferring this into the 4 quadrants of this 96 well plate, sorry, this 384 well plate. So it's doing a tip touch as it takes the removes from the first quadrant now into the second quadrant. It's doing a 5 microliter dispense, and again a tip touch, and then to the third quadrant. Same again, 5 microliter dispense and a tip touch, and then finally the fourth quadrant for the final 5 microliters. So that could equally be, say, 3 quadrants, and then there could be a second plate to provide controls from. You've got complete flexibility how you set this up. And as I already mentioned, you could at this point add the master mix to the 384 well plate rather than to the source 96 as we did. So it's now removing the 96 tips, and then it's going to switch over to a set of 384 tips for the final step in this demonstration protocol. And once it's done that, it's also going to use the gripper to move the plate to the shaker. So on this system we use vertical space. We've got the upper deck with 8 positions, we've got the lower deck with 8 positions. We've also got positions below the decks, as you will see in a moment. And this allows us to fit a lot of utilities on a very small footprint. So here's the gripper coming down to be used now to pick up that plate. So it's picking up the 384 well plate that we've just pipetted and dispensed to, and it's moving that below the deck to a shaker position. So below deck there's actually the shaker that we're moving to now, and just in front of it there's the heater cooler plate. So that can work for both 96 and 384 formats and can incubate plates between -10 and 95 degrees Celsius. So the gripper is just homing, and now the plate is gripped and the shaker begins. This is an orbital shaker. It can go to up to 3000 RPM. At the moment it's running at 1000 RPM, and there's a 3mm deflection on that, and it sets to the same home position each time so that we can accurately pick and place the plate. It would also be possible to perform a tip mix directly in that plate in certain formats. So now moving the plate back to the deck, and the final step of the process once it's homed the gripper will be just to take an aliquot from that 384 well plate and put it into a final plate. So the purpose of this short demonstration, so here we go for the final aspirate, and then final transfer to this new 384 well plate, just creating a copy of that. So through this demo, it's really just to demonstrate the flexibility of using both 96 and 384 tips on the fly, seamlessly interchanging. Some of the features, things like tip touch, the compact nature of the system, the integrated shaker, and the ability to move things with the gripper, as well as the non-contact dispensing system, which is great for dispensing things like master mixes. If you need any more information, please don't hesitate to contact us at sptlabtech, and we'd be happy to provide you with anything else you'd like to know about the Firefly.